Pride of Pittsburgh, PA, big-time movie star. What do people say on the street? New York City.
Like they usually pronounce my name wrong. But you got it right.
Okay.
So that was actually great.
Okay. So what do they say?
What do they say? I mean, usually they want to talk about, well, it's either like, oh, my kid loves Pee Wee Herman. We watch your movie 5 times a day with Pee Wee. Or it's, you know, when I'm going through airport TSA, it's like, oh, it's the werewolf. Oh, my God, come here. You know, so I get a lot of that. And if it's women, then it's usually something about Magic Mike.
Which one do you like hearing?
I don't mind them all. I mean, it's all
Which
it's all
one
good.
do you not like hearing?
Like, I don't like touching me while I'm eating.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's probably like, it's like conditional. Like, it's all good.
Wait, women
until I have
come
hot
up and
food
touch
in my.
you?
Sometimes, like they want to, you know, like selfie. Like they'll sit down at the booth with a camera. Like I'm mouthful. I can't even talk because my mouth is so full. And you know, so sometimes you get strange situations thrown at you.
Even if your wife is there?
Less so with my wife around. You know, she's Colombian. There's a chance that you might disappear and never be heard from again.
Okay, does your wife get that kind of treatment from guys?
Not when I'm around.
Oh. All right, the official introduction. The movie is Bottom of the Ninth, which hits theaters tomorrow. Available as a video on demand. Burt Young is in this movie.
Burt Young is in the studio right now.
Oh.
Oh, no. Do you think...
Here we go.
Okay, do you think Fritzy looks like Vince Young? Or Burt Young. So the former actor from Rocky, Uncle Paulie. Now, be honest, Joe. Does he look like Paulie?
I feel like we should do a scene from the movie right now. Or like, you know, hey, this ain't no pie eating contest. You know, we can do some stuff from Rocky too.
Paulie, give Joe your Rocky impersonation.
I say you can't win. You're going to make me lightning and crap thunder kick.
No, that's
my Mick.
That's Burgess Meredith there.
I was wondering if he wasn't doing anything in the next 30 years, you wouldn't mind marrying me very much.
And that's Stallone. Why don't you do Burt Young? That's who you look like.
The only thing I remember for Burt Young is when they got off the plane in Rocky IV, he goes, I don't like these guys.
Maybe they don't like you none too much neither.
What do I ever do to them?
So Joe just got done with a movie, just wrapped with
How about that?
you, Todd.
My doppelganger, Burt Young.
I didn't know that. All right, so this is a movie. You kind of have a second chance in life. You go to prison, you come back, and you have a baseball phenom that you're going to be managing. Your wife is in this movie as well.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so like, and then go, Joe. I play. Thank you. So I play it's called Bottom of the Ninth. I play a 19-year-old kid who was a baseball phenom. He grew up in the Bronx in the shadow of Yankee Stadium and winds up getting drafted by the Yankees. So the pride of all the Bronx. Yeah. And one night he's out with his neighborhood friends and gets into a fight, hits a kid. The kid falls backwards, smacks his head on the curb, and I get 9 years in prison for it. I get another 9 years tacked on for violence in prison, for basically like staying alive, doing what you had to do to stay alive in prison. I get out 18 years later in my late 30s and return to the Bronx to try to put my life back together after missing my mother's funeral. I missed baseball, I missed the Yankees, and I also wind up running into the girl whose heart I broke at 19 when I went in. And through the film, it's a story of redemption and what someone who made a mistake as a kid has to go through in order to feel like they deserve good things in their life again. And I wind up getting a second shot at baseball through an old coach played by Michael Rispoli from The Deuce, a great actor. And he calls me up and says, hey, how'd you like to have a job back in baseball? And through coaching, I wind up at bat versus this like rehabbing former Cy Young winner with a screw loose played by Brian Wilson, like the beard. Sans beard. So people like watch the movie, they don't even know it's him. Like, oh my God, that was Brian Wilson.
So the former relief pitcher.
Yeah, former world champion Brian Wilson.
Crazy.
But amazing. Like, I love this guy. And so through this kind of like pitching battle against him in a practice, everybody sees that I still have it. I still got the stuff. And so I wound up getting a second chance at baseball through the minor leagues as I'm trying to like put my life back together. And then of course bump into this woman that I was in love with when I was 19 when I went in, and that gets rekindled too.
But how do you act? How do you not bring in real life to acting when you're with your wife? Like, how does that work? Is it harder to work with your wife because?
No, I think.
Are you acting?
Yes, very much. Because I'm playing a different character. You know, I'm playing a guy who got out of prison after 18 years and doesn't really trust himself. You know, after like beating a guy to death with his bare hands, or you know. So, you know, he gets out and.
Plus, the love scenes aren't awkward.
Well, you know, well, here's the thing. So it's supposed to be awkward because this is a guy who is like, hasn't been around a woman in 18 years, let alone her, and feels guilty for hurting her and throwing her life off course. And so, you know, when I kiss her in the movie, I'm kissing her in character, which is weird to then watch later.
Demonstrate that on Paulie.
No. He's good looking, not that good looking.
That's what happened in prison. That's where he learned.
You got to do what you got to do to get by. So you know, so there's an amount of it that is strange. But in those moments, I'm the character kissing my wife, who's playing a character, not, you know, it's not me kissing her. So
that's way too deep for me.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. But
there's also a history between my wife and I that then becomes easy. I know little tricks to make her smile, and she knows little tricks to do the same to me that are indicative of people that have spent a lot of time together. So that actually helps because you know each other so well.
What's your baseball background? I know you played sports in high school and you know, football as well, but
yeah, I played football. I was going to play college basketball, but I went for theater, which
how did that go? How did that? But did you get injured and therefore you went into theater after you got injured? Didn't you injure your knee?
I did. Yeah, I injured. I tore my MCL returning a kickoff against Ringgold High School, which was Joe Montana's high school. Funny enough.
Yeah, cheap shot artist there.
You know.
Yeah, Ringgold. Damn that Ringgold.
Damn Ringgold. So I tore my MCL returning a kickoff, and you know, it made me start thinking about what I really wanted to do down the line. You know, Western Pennsylvania sports are really competitive.
But you go
football,
home,
you know?
and it's Western Pennsylvania where they love their football, and you say to your parents, I want to go into acting.
Well, I knew from the time I was a kid I was an artist in my heart. And I knew that if I didn't wind up doing something that involved that, I was never going to be satisfied. So it was that point that made me think, what do I really want to do? But at that point still, I didn't know if that was a possibility to go be an artist professionally. So my plan was to go to college to play basketball, and I was going to go into federal law enforcement. I had a cousin in the FBI, and I was talking to him about how to get in there and what branch I wanted to go into. And my high school had a TV studio, and they had cameras, and I would take them out on the weekends and write movies for my friends. Like I wrote a full-length feature in high school, and I would write TV shows, and I would cast my friends. And so I kind of backdoored into acting or theater through like filmmaking as a kid. And then I wound up trying out for Carnegie Mellon Drama School, and I got in, which was like super hard to get into. So I got in with a scholarship, and that was it. And so that was like how I launched in it. So it wasn't necessarily like I got hurt and then wound up over here. It was like, no, I was just trying to, I just knew that was who I was.
But you did other things. You were a roadie for a band.
Yeah, in between gigs as an actor. Yeah, my friend John Feldman's the lead singer of this band Goldfinger, and he was like, "Hey man, do you have anything going on next month?" And I was, "No, you know, just hanging out." Struggling artist lifestyle, and he's like, "Do you want to come out on tour with us? We're gonna do Australia, New Zealand, Hawaii, Canada, U.S." I said, "Sure, yeah." So I would just throw drunk kids off the stage every night.
Could you do a movie off that?
Maybe. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah,
how about Roadhouse 2?
Oh, well, now you're talking. Yeah.
I think Roadhouse is there's some great lines in Roadhouse.
I love Roadhouse, man. Yeah.
Pain don't hurt.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. How do we do another Roadhouse?
Wait, are we doing it?
You could play Sam Elliott. We get you a mustache. You gonna start growing in now? Yeah.
Got to get my voice a little bit deeper there.
Yeah.
I got to smoke some heaters.
Or you could be the guy who owns the town, the evil guy who owns the town. You know what I'm saying?
Do I get a love interest?
You could have a ton if you're running the town, man. Yeah.
I want Michelle Pfeiffer.
Let's call her.
Okay. All right, it's good. Get Paulie, see if you can get David E. Kelly on and ask him if Michelle can come out and play.
We're on it.
Okay. How important are the Steelers to you still?
What do you mean still?
Well, I don't know, but you
could
became
like
a
waterboard me, torture me, bamboo shoots under the fingernail.
Okay.
It's not gonna.
Academy Award or a Super Bowl for the Steelers?
Well, okay, so I was there in Super Bowl 43. I witnessed them win, so I'm gonna take the Oscar. Like, no offense, guys, but I got to take the Oscar right now. But I love y'all.
But it's a Best Supporting Actor, not Actor Academy Award.
I'll take it. But here's the thing: like, I think they'll win again before Ben's done. There, I said it.
No, I like him. There's less drama this year.
You very much.
Have you met Ben?
Oh, yeah. We just had dinner when I was back in Pittsburgh a few months ago. Yeah. No, I know Ben. I've hung out with him a bunch of times. I know, like, most of the guys. I was at Ryan Shazier's wedding.
Oh, no
recently, yeah. So we're buddies.
That had to be pretty emotional.
Incredible.
Right?
Yeah. He was told 18 months ago that he was never going to walk again.
Yeah.
Never going to walk. You're not going to walk. You're not going to get to play with your kid. And there he is walking down the aisle, like bouncing down the aisle, bouncing up the steps, dancing all night. Like, he's incredible. He's just such a strong-willed guy.
And I don't know if he'll ever be able to play again, but I just hope he's able to live a life. And that's all. Like, I know that he wants to have goals, but I look at it and I go, I just hope he's healthy, just to be able to, play with your kids and do normal things.
But that's a sign of a champion.
I know.
In the mind when your goal is to play again. If your goal is to play again, like, look where it's gotten him so far.
Yeah.
He's now defying the odds. The guy's a miracle.
The movie is Bottom of the Ninth. It hits theaters tomorrow. Burt Young is one of the stars, and Joe, of course, is leading the charge here. I was also noticing a couple things.
Yes.
Metallica. Are you a big Metallica fan?
Yeah, huge.
Okay. Did you play Metallica at your wedding?
Yes, I did. I hired violin players and cello players for the wedding, to play the songs when you're walking down the aisle. And
wait. Take me back to the conversation when you sit down with your wife and you say, Sophia, I'm thinking I got this great idea.
Well,
Metallica.
Well, my wife is pretty cool, for starters. But the other side of it, like, I had heard a violin cello string version of Nothing Else Matters, and it's beautiful. Like, it is gorgeous. Like, Google it at home.
Okay.
It's beautiful. So I hired these violin players and a cellist, and I said, could you convert this to violin, cello, and play that when I walk down the aisle? And they said, sure, of course. and so we're walking down the aisle, and my mom turns to me and she's like, my gosh, this song is beautiful, And I said, it's Metallica, Mom. And my buddy Patrick from college is like giving me the metal horns as I'm walking down the aisle, It was great. My lawyer was like nodding his head like, yeah, But it sounds like this beautiful piece of classical music when you convert it. And I think there was like a Swedish House Mafia song that we played when we were walking down off the altar, So yeah, it was fun.
Can you afford to let yourself go? Like your body?
What does that mean? I mean, well, I'm an actor, so every role isn't like, it isn't a giant supernatural powered werewolf.
No, but I'm not for a movie role, but let's say you just said, I'm not working out or I'm going to let myself go a little bit here.
Well, I just ate my way through Italy.
Like, let's take our shirts off right now. You and me, and we'll take our shirts off. And let me see if you let yourself go.
Look, so there's the thing is, like, with me, my body wants to be skinny. I was a super skinny kid growing up. Like, I was a kid in 9th grade, like, led the league in points, rebounds. I thought my end of the year review is going to be spotless. What could they say? And they said, you need to gain upper body strength. You're too skinny. That was their comment. And at that time in 9th grade, I couldn't do one pull-up, couldn't do one dip. And we had to do tests like in football. Everybody had to line up on either side of a dip bar, and it's like, go as many as you can. I couldn't get one. Like, it wasn't even like I was in the middle. And I was the captain of the team. I didn't get like a ton or even like mid-range. 0. Weakest dude on the team. It pissed me off so badly, that embarrassment and the shame, that I spent the next, 20 odd years making sure that I would never have that kind of embarrassment again. Which is why, so I wrote a book about bodybuilding. Simon & Schuster approached me. They're like, we want you to write the follow-up to like Arnold's Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. And I was actually shooting a movie with Arnold at the time. And Arnold's like, whatever you need, let me know. I'll help you in whatever way you want.
You think
I
you
was
could
like,
take Arnold?
do I think I could take Arnold?
Yeah.
Like now?
Yeah.
Well, why would I want to do that?
No, just we like to ask these questions.
He's my buddy, man. Like, I mean, you mean like?
No, could you if you
Are we
had
talking
to?
like Conan the Barbarian Arnold
Yeah.
or Arnold now?
Well, current, I'm going to guess you can, right? But if I said you at your best against Conan the Barbarian,
Trying to picture the clickbait headlines right now, depending on my answer. I mean,
it's great publicity for the movie coming up.
I mean,
Bottom of the ninth with Joe Manganiello.
this would be an interesting simulator. Like me at the height of like True Blood shape. I was also boxing at the time, like a lot.
Okay.
Versus Arnold Conan.
Conan the Barbarian.
This would be interesting.
I know. You're in the octagon.
I got the reach.
Only one guy gets out.
one
guy gets out.
Conan or werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a Madden we can put this into? Some Madden simulator?
What about Conan O'Brien instead of Conan the Barbarian? Could you take Conan O'Brien?
He's wiry.
Yeah, he is.
He's a wiry
and
guy.
He's smart.
Yeah.
He could outsmart you.
The sweet science.
Yes. So, but I always, I'm never on these lists, but I always wonder when they say the hottest bachelor alive, like, how many mirrors do you guys have in your house?
How many?
Yeah. Like, do you guys constantly just look at yourself?
Let me go back to that. So as soon as that happened, the Bachelor of the Year, whatever it was, someone said to me, I think it was Mario Lopez. He was like, that's not going to last long. He said, watch. It's not going to last long. I said, all right, yeah, whatever, And sure enough, like a year later, I was married. That was it. I was out of the game. Title vacated.
You're not on the list anymore.
No, man. It was very short-lived. Once you get that title, it ain't gonna last for long.
But if you're that good looking, do you look in the mirror all the time or do you not look in the mirror all the time?
I don't care. I'm like a typical guy. If I can't get out of the house in less than 30 seconds, like I'm doing something wrong, Like I should be ashamed of myself.
These are typical guys over there, Joe. You're not a typical guy.
What are you talking about? I'm just trying to get out of the house, man. I'm just like, I'm not thinking about all that stuff. Unless like I have to go on a talk show, which is somebody else's job. Like, okay, you can.
All right. The movie is bottom of the ninth. And it hits theaters tomorrow. It's great to see you. Thank you for coming in. Good luck with your Steelers.
Thank you very much. I'm excited for this year.
You should be.
There's a different vibe. At Ryan's wedding, it was a different vibe. It was like shaking a tree and the dead leaves coming off.
How many Steelers were there?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody. Old, new. Yeah.
How bad a dancer was Ben Roethlisberger?
I don't think Ben danced.
Did Antonio Brown show up?
No. No.
Did Le'Veon Bell show up?
No.
Oh.
No, man.
No longer Steelers.
For the team. For the team.
I like it.
The guys who want to be there and win a championship for Pittsburgh.
I like it.
Those guys who want to play for winners.
All right,
during
the commercial break, Joe and I will take off our shirts so you'll be able to feast.
We're going to have like the Jesse the Body versus Macho Man pose down, brother.
If Tatum came in, would it be on? Like, would you guys, Channing Tatum? Like, what would happen if he came in?
Oh, we'd just like laugh. We'd see each other from across the room and just laugh hysterically.
Okay.
The kind of laughter that can only come from two men who spent months of time in thongs together. Do you understand the bonding that happens when you do that?
When's the last time you had a thong on?
When's the last time I had a thong on?
Yeah.
My finale routine in Magic Mike, and that'll be the last time that thong is ever on.
Never on.
No, man, that was a gig. That was a paid gig, Dan.
Boy, I feel awkward because I had a thong on last night.
I was gonna. Okay, you just took the question. Yeah, all right.
Got it, flaunt it, baby.
Hey, man. I mean, it's actually very freeing. You haven't lived, brother.
Good luck with the movie, Joe.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.